Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's 4 o'clock on Thursday, so it's time for the boomers. But today it's only one masked boomer. Ice cream soda is off. I think we mentioned it last week. She's off visiting our newest grandchild and our youngest daughter for a couple weeks. And so she is not here today, but we thought that it would be best to just kind of go ahead anyway. And although I have to admit that I lose some of the edge because Soda can make comments and things that obviously stimulate my thinking in certain areas, and as opposed to just doing a monologue. So we'll be answering questions as they come in, assuming there are some, and then we'll talk a little bit about. I've been asked about some of the sources or routine that I go through in terms of looking at the news and where I get my information, etc. So, with all that being said, and recognizing that there's a lot of slack to pick up with Soda not here, I'll do my best. And and I had a senior moment. The question was, what's a song you can play on repeat for like an hour and be more than satisfied? And a bunch of them come to mind because it depends what you're doing at the time. I always loved Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl. That might be one that was great. The Stones' Satisfaction was always likewise. Either one of those I could listen to. Probably more the Brown Eyed Girl from Van Morrison. I always enjoyed that. And then there was another one that some others that the Pointer Sisters would do when I'd be doing a workout or in something where you'd want a rhythm, and just stay with it for a long period of time, like when you're on the treadmill or walking. So I date myself with the titles, I guess, but I'm a Van Morrison fan, and and again, as I said, I liked the Stones a little bit. I also liked, although I'm not sure I could listen to it for an hour, is Cream, or Sunshine of Your Love, those kinds of things. Just certain kinds of ones that if you're in the mood, I could listen to them for a long time. Now, yeah, I what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes and just explain a little bit about where I get my information from and what kind of TV and movies and media I like and why, because that's really changed, as you can imagine, over the last 50 years. But I have a routine, and I'm up early. I'm up, like 5:30 in the morning to 6 because of the dog. But I will always spend a little time first before I even start. I'll do my morning devotions and look at some stuff and some guys online that I have for some messages. Do a little Bible reading, and then I will look at the news and the places that I usually will go online and start with, in not always in the exact same order, but I'll always hit these places. Is I like Breitbart. I particularly like the Hoff brothers, and I really enjoyed Nolte because of his John Nolte, the columnist, because of his. He's got a biting wit, and I have to admit I don't always agree with how he says stuff, but I really likes the way he goes after the heart of the matter. So anyway, I'll do Breitbart. I do Gateway Pundit, which is where some of those guys are. I mixed my guys up. Gateway Pundit is good. The Blaze is good. I've actually only started to follow them a little bit more. I mean, I knew of Glenn Beck for a uh, while I was on the radio before the Blaze, the website really got started, or at least before I was aware of it. But like many folks who were thought to really be out there, a lot of what he says and has said has been proven to be true, and so I enjoy I enjoy following him and enjoy kind of going through the mental exercise of reasoning, some of the stuff out that he talks about. Is it plausible? So Breitbart, Gateway Pundit, The Blaze. I will also go on intentionally to sites that and TV that are not necessarily places I like, whether it be Yahoo or CNN or MSNBC or NPR, because I want to get a take from the other perspective. And it's interesting because when you listen to those folks, they are every bit as convinced, many of them, that they are correct and absolutely have the right perspective, just as I might be on my point of view, or many conservatives are, and I have to admit it causes me to kind of pause a little bit and say, how could they get there? And again, in discussions that I've had around here, it's what you expose yourself to, and if you hear anything enough, uh, it starts to influence you. Whether you think you agree with it or not, it clearly starts to influence you. It makes you perhaps less willing to be as outspoken as you want to be, or thought you were. Other places, a little bit different, that maybe not as widely followed. WND, I like that as a news site. I like Town Hall, and again, because it's different journalists, different perspectives on the same. I like to see how they report on the same events. Um, from a TV standpoint, because of influence in the family, I watch a whole lot less TV. I do not watch TV for my news. There's two exceptions that of programs that I enjoy listening to for different reasons. I enjoy listening to people duke it out on the five on Fox. I particularly like when they have well, they used to have Juan on as the resident liberal. He made me go nuts. Geraldo is kind of the tweener guy, the one who likes to always talk about himself and how long he's been in the business. But every story ultimately is about him. But I do enjoy the entertainment that they have, and I do enjoy some of the things they say. Like Dana Perino's a pretty smart lady. I enjoy listening to her. And then I have to admit I like listening to Tucker. Uh, I almost always don't make it through the full hour. I always like listening to the monologue, if you will, because it's usually on whatever the bigger story is of the day. Like the Elon Musk stuff and so forth. I do enjoy when he has Jason Whitlock on as well. The former sports guy who's a conservative, and he's just I enjoy him. He's just a clear, common sense guy, and puts his ideas across pretty clearly. Um, from a movie standpoint, that has really changed with me over the years. I like happy endings, and and so I enjoy night. I just enjoy good stories. I really have came to enjoy the Harry Potter movies. I read the books. I enjoy the books. I I've enjoyed a lot of like spy novels and CIA kind of things, but I have found that I enjoy the movies now a bit less because whatever it is, as I've gotten older, the the violence aspect. I know it's realistic, and I know people have done that to each other, but I just don't like putting it in my head, and so I'm really one who I just kind of like to be I like to be entertained, and I like to come out of the movies. I don't go to the movies to learn a position, be taught about an issue, or learn about an issue. I go to have fun, hopefully to laugh, cry a little bit, but at the end feel uplifted and feel better for having gone. And that's what I enjoy. And as I said, I'm one of these folks now. If I rewatch something and it has a really tough portion or a bad ending, I'm the type who'll either turn it off or zip by it and just spend my time in those more pleasant moments. I know that's a lot of stuff, but I don't necessarily see myself as terribly different from other folks that way. I think people go. I think it was my son was telling me about conversations that Alfred Hitchcock used to have with people, and they go. People go to the movies to be entertained. I mean, they don't go to look at their own life or hear this or that. They go to escape, and and I guess that's really why I like the fantasy stuff, if you will, like the rolling stuff in Harry Potter, because it's just fun stuff. It's magical stuff. It puts you back in a little kid frame of mind where you could just imagine how great would it be to have a turret bedroom in a castle kind of thing, that kind of stuff. Uh, anyway, I've gone on and on. Hope that helps or gives you some insight. By way of finishing up on the news thing, the time that I'll usually spend during the course of a day on things that are kind of current events, I'll probably end up spending a couple hours over the course of a day reading and watching distant perspectives. In fact, I could hit a couple of those guys right this second. Because I do like the thing I really do enjoy is I know it's the blessing and the curse is the fact that these sites update so quickly that you can get changing things, updates, pretty significantly during the course of the day. And I'm looking at Breitbart now, and you look at the whole thing with Musk and Twitter. Oh, and now the Department of Justice or the SEC is checking into Musk's first purchase of Twitter stock. I mean, so it's obvious that the government is going to try to control what he can do. And reading about this new bureau under Homeland Security to guard against disinformation. My gosh, it's 1984. It's Orwellian, and I know everybody uses that word, but it is straight out of George Orwell in terms of controlling speech and being the speech police. And of course, if they make it some kind of a federal agency, then the next step is they can charge you with crimes for words and thoughts. And I don't think I'm not sure that's going to have a good ending, especially if people sit on their hands and don't fight back. So anyway, so that's my buddies at Breitbart, and of course they're talking about the fact that the economy is going to go in the tank, and so that's one. Okay, and I'll take a look at take a look at again. And these guys might be my favorite, the Gateway Pundit, because they really they have a lot of really good contributors who really do some darn good research. In fact, I was amused because part of what's going on there is their lead all day has been about uh, Trump's lawyers reaching out to their site and asking all the users or people who may have been in attendance at January 6th to send any videos to Trump's lawyer that they have of that day that they took because of the suppression of the stuff that shows how the police beat up people, how they invited the protesters into the Capitol, and generally, were participants in keeping this thing going, as well as any of the agitators like that guy Ray Epps and others who were clearly videoed and have done and did things to get everybody riled up, but were never charged because clearly they were feds or working for the feds. And so that's something that they're using the site for. And and you hear that the thing that stuns me is you hear the fact that the conservative viewpoints aren't necessarily getting out there. But when you see the data or the statistics on how many visits these guys' websites get and stuff, I mean, 40, 50 million, I mean, it's just the numbers are staggering. And I can't imagine that that the information, therefore, that they have on the sites can't be getting out there to everybody, even if it's something you don't want to, even if it's something you don't want to see. But I guess that's why we're doing what we're doing right here, is because things aren't always known. Anyway, so Gateway is good. I do notice, and I had mentioned to somebody last week, one of the things that has happened to me at home when I'm using my desktop is I will try to get to certain sites, and if it's an old computer, and Safari was the browser that was installed on it, and so now what I get a big dosage of is sorry that that site is not private, or you need to authorize a certificate or something like that. And I just thought that's a load of rubbish. And of course, it's only sites that have to do with conservative content, or even my church, trying to get on my church website. I got hit on that browser. So if I switch my browser to the other one that I use, everything comes right up, and there's no issues. So I mean, there's clearly people that are playing games and screening what they're going to allow you to see or not see, or just simply make it inconvenient for you so that you'll bail out and say, screw it, I'm not gonna waste my time doing it. And so I find that stuff. I'm finding that personally to be a thing. And here's that thing I told you about. The Musk initial Twitter stock buy is under FTC scrutiny, and and so I'll follow that. I'll follow the whole Twitter thing, because I'm really thinking that if he can pull this off, it would be a really good thing, a really good thing. And let's see. All right, and then you've got of course you've got all the stuff on the Hunter laptop, and the fact that I like this is Bannon on his War Room cast that he does. He's talking about on the Gateway. He says it's you're pure evil. What you've done to this nation. Talking about Biden and his boys. He says we're going to rub your nose in the hard drive from hell. And Joe Biden, you're going to get impeached. And I mean, I must admit that the what I'm seeing now about the 27 visits of Hunter's partner to the White House over the years, and the fact that Joe had over $5 million in unaccounted for income last year. The email that said he's going to pay Hunter's 800,000 in legal fees. I mean, what? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, those numbers are huge. And obviously, if you've got 800,000 in legal fees, you're doing something big time anyway. And as all this happened, I guess, just days later, he receives like a $5 million contract with China. Anyway, so it's those are the things that I'm again, the Musk thing is the thing I'm most interested in at this point, and I just hope that it sticks. I also am following with some interest, a little, although not as much now, the what the effect of. I think they'll ultimately negotiate a compromise in Florida with Disney on all of this, on all of the parental rights bill, because Disney's saying, "Oh, it's going to cost the taxpayers $1 billion to do this." At the end of the day, I think DeSantis is a pretty savvy guy, and he'll end up negotiating some kind of a thing. Let me go at this from. Let me come at one of my the different ones here and see what some of the other headlines are. Those are pretty run of the mill. Just that now you got people, just CNN and others, even the Democrats, sounding the alarm on the midterms. I'd be interested in what some of the thoughts everybody out there has, what you guys see with the midterms, and do you think anything of significance will happen, or are we just getting set up for another disappointment? Like have they already figured out a way? Doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Have they already figured out a way to come out on top, regardless of what happens when you pull the lever in the voting booth? The one thing that I did see yesterday on WND, and I thought that was pretty good, and actually a friend of mine told me that they had someone in their family who was sick and was able to get this stuff because of it. But ivermectin, if you will, that therapeutic that everyone was condemning early on, those now in Tennessee, you can get ivermectin without a prescription, so that the average person can go in and talk to the pharmacist, describe symptoms and so forth if you've got COVID or whatever, and you'd be able to get he'd be able to authorize giving it to you without having to go through finding a doctor who'll do it and give you the prescription. I think that's pretty significant. And of course, the ups and downs on we have a pandemic, we don't. I think little Lord Fauci over the past several days has been back and forth about we're in a pandemic. 12 hours later, we're out of the pandemic. 24 hours after that, we're back into the pandemic. Perhaps I spoke too soon, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Although, because I guess it's all tied to this Title 42, which is the health thing at the border. Because if they, I guess depending upon what they do with COVID, that either allows them or doesn't. Makes it easier or makes it difficult for them to dissolve that, end that Title 42, which would allow people without being tested for COVID to be able to come into the country. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff. I mean, no wonder I probably don't spend as much time drilling down, except rarely on certain stories. I don't think I'm quite as bad as a person just walks around with their phone and takes a look at their phone and sees whatever the the clickbait is and forms an opinion based on, the first paragraph and then goes away. I don't think I do that, but I also realize or have come to realize that, man, if you don't really dig into stuff, you truly don't have an accurate idea of what really is going on. And again, as Ice Cream Soda has said in the past, hardest part is even from sites that you like or think are giving it to you straight. Everybody's telling you the story in a way that fits their narrative because they want to influence you, as opposed to just telling you the truth about what's going on. Everybody's trying to shape how you think, and unfortunately, I think once you get beyond my generation and start to get down to the younger folks, there's less and less critical thinking going on. To that end, that's a little bit of a segue, just popped into my head. I was reading an article on or watching something on the questions that Elon Musk asks people when they're interviewing for a job with him or one of his companies. And everything is related to, he's looking for genius whenever he can find it. That's clearly true. But he is also very interested in your critical thinking ability. I mean, one would assume, okay, it's great to be smart, but again, can they really do some good critical thinking and problem solve? And so an awful lot of what he will ask folks, and he clearly got a slant towards technology, as you can imagine, will ask people, what's the most difficult engineering problem you have ever encountered? And precisely what did you do to solve it? And so he's looking for people that can reason their way through things. Again, he's applying it to technology, but I'm sure in other aspects of his business, particularly now with the acquisition of Twitter, he's particularly where he's looking at, okay, he wants to change the algorithms, open up the architecture so it can truly be something that's wide open. If indeed he can do it, I'm sure he's going to be looking for people that have that skill set as well. So, and critical thinking, that's related to all of this stuff. If I can read anything, but if I'm not willing to drill down and examine it and think critically about it, it's just propaganda. I'm getting out of breath. uh, we we can because I'm spending so much time uh, carrying the load by myself. I'll have to tell Ice Cream Soda about that. Why don't we take a short break and then see if there are any more questions that come in. If they do, then we'll spend a little bit of time on those. If not, we'll just give after the break we'll just do a shortened segment and we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. We have a final question that's come in, so we're just going to do this and then go from there. It says the question is: I plan on camping and fishing, if possible. Should I go to Yosemite or the Redwoods, uh, or even Yellowstone? I'm not sure if that's I think Yellowstone. Particularly, well, it all depends what time of year you go. If you're going to do it, you want to go to those parks, those national parks when the kids are back in school. I don't know if you have a family or not. I'll assume for the moment you're talking about going individually. If you don't want to be jammed up, then doing it when the families are back in school is a good idea. And I personally have never seen the redwoods. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could go look at a absolutely gigantic tree and a whole forest of gigantic trees. I'm not sure how long that would keep me occupied. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. It's just that I mean, how many giant roots balls can you walk through and see? But I think it would be a great thing. It's not a bad bucket list item. See it before you're done. But I would say, the national parks like Yosemite, Yellowstone, and things like that, with a little bit of variety and other stuff to do while you're there. I think that would be the way to go. And I would do it at your leisure. Not on a crazy schedule. Like you said, being able to camp and maybe control your own schedule and take your time. I think that would be the way to see it for sure. Well, we said one question, and so that will be it. As April comes to an end, I know it's supposed to be getting warmer here where we are, but it hasn't really yet. You might get one nice day, and then at night it's back down in the 30s. So I'm waiting for it to get a little bit warmer so I can spend more and more time outside. Uh, Next week we also don't. Ice cream soda is not back, but and so we'll determine if we'll do another solo shot or not. I don't mind doing that at all. I would like to thank again, remind you to share and tap the bell so you get notified on your channel of what we're doing. And again, and I can't say this enough because I fall into the demographic that is probably not the most beloved on the face of the planet right now, nor necessarily the most interesting, and I can accept that. But it would be nice, to have other streamers or commentators or other guests. So if there are suggestions you have or people that whose content you would recommend for us, or folks to whom you would send our stuff and recommend that we get together to try to spice things up a bit, that would be great. So with that in mind, we will see you next Thursday at 4 o'clock. Take care.